especially some old faces. Talking of old faces, when I saw myself on the house, like, who is that old guy that's interviewing? Welcome everybody to our 50th anniversary Grant Drummers and Dancers. I'm Kevin Cope, most of you know me, director, and this is Jolene Garland, my assistant director here, if I can speak well. We'd like to recognize too Mr. George Gessler, our assistant principal here, and Brittany Searcy, our principal. We have a couple of real special people here that we're going to introduce later, but first of all, we need to start off with a welcome dance. And I need to just tell you a story. One of our drummers and dancers, Sophia Haas, just went to Ghana. She's there for 2 years in the Peace Corps. She sent a video back of being welcomed with a welcome dance. And she was able to join in. And so we're going to welcome you with our Nigerian welcome dance. This is Fanga. Most of you know the words, so I expect great things. Fanga Lafaya. How many of you remember that? Okay, here we go. Answer back. Fanga Lafaya. Fanga Lafaya. Fanga Lafaya. Fanga Lafaya. Zimbabwe. And how many of you remember Shamanuka Dimambo? Okay, so former Grant Drummers and Dancers, and if you're not, if you want to join, does anybody have problems in their life? It's election season. There's going to be lots of problems. In Zimbabwe, in the Shona culture, you would get together and do this dance with some friends to ask for help for your ancestors to help you solve a problem. And you usually do it under a tree, but you can also do it in a group of line. And Arrow, if you demonstrate, because I got a drum on, you kick your heels back and elbows go back at the same time. They're going to do this and kind of snake around among the group here. Feel free to join in, especially if you were a drummer and dancer, okay? Feel free to join in, okay? And we're also going to teach you the words. Again, African dance and drumming is participatory, okay? In African culture, you just don't sit there and watch, you join in. So, this is in Shona. Everybody needs to watch what they're going to do back. Shamanuka Dimambo.
Ahe Dimambo, Ahe Dimambo, Shumanuka Dimambo.
How many of you remember that? It's fun to see all these old faces. So, Shamanuka Dimambo means hail to the king or hail to the chief. Shamanuka lived about 600 years ago, and he united the people of Zimbabwe into the Shona culture. He's recognized now as kind of a spirit who is a protector of the country and the people, and that's why you're invoking his spirit to help you. And so, Shamanuka Dimambo means hail to the king, and Shumbe Nogara Yega Musango means he waits in the forest like a lion. Okay, so everybody say, Shumba,
Shumba,
Inogara,
Inogara,
Yega,
Yega,
Musango.
Musango.
So here we go. Shamanuka Dimambo, Ahe Dimambo, Ahe Dimambo, Shumbe Nogara Yega Musango, Shamanuka Dimambo,
Ahe Dimambo, Ahe Dimambo, Shumbe Nogara Yega Musango.
Okay, so we do have somebody. I was brain dead earlier. I was talking to one of the reporters who's here, and she's saying, "What are you really looking forward to?" There's one dance that we've done for the entire 50 years. Margo, do you remember Banadigo? You taught them this. Margo taught them this dance, and we've done it for our entire 50 years. And it's traditional that if you were a drummer and dancer, you join in with us. So we've gone and done things like, you'll see it in the film, where we met somebody who was a member of your group and they joined us with Banadigo. They still remember that. So I need to introduce you, first of all, to one important person who started this group, but also my predecessor who was director before I was. So would you stand up? This is Margo Dreis, who started our program 50 years ago. And we're going to have you speak right now. Come on, I know I put her on the spot. I'm sorry. I'm really good at putting people on the spot. Tell us anything about it, what you remember about the group, anything special, why you started it.
Well, first of all, we were in the old school, and if any of you were at the old school, it was on the top floor. And but just a little bit of history. I started teaching in 1967, and my superintendent out of Deer Park said, I want you to go to this convention. It was a national convention in Seattle. So I didn't know anything about it, so anyway, I went, and they had Seattle night there. And so I went to the performance at the Opera House, and if you know anything about the Opera House in Seattle, they have several stages. One of the stages opened up, and here were these drummers, and they started with these various rhythms. On the right side, another curtain opens, and it's another group of drummers. So now we have two going at the same time. Anyway, there were about four side stages, and they're all going. I mean, I am mesmerized. And then all of a sudden, the center stage opens up, and there are all of these drummers, and they're all doing various rhythms, none of which I can identify with. And I'm saying, I want this. Well, Deer Park was not the place to start it. And so I just kind of waited. And then I took a leave of absence because I had children, started having children. And then I came to Grant Elementary, and David Lang was the principal. I also had 4 other schools, and that was in '73. In '74, I had Jefferson and Grant, and Dave Lang was here, and I asked him permission to start this group. And David was so good and he was very open about having different experiences for the students in his school. And so we started, and I think I started with 6 drummers. And we didn't have the sophisticated instruments that Mr. Cope has. We had bongos and garbage cans, and I mean, we had a tom-tom. We did have a cowbell though, and that cowbell really was pretty significant because that started the rhythms. And we were upstairs, and we had this terrific music going on, and pretty soon girls would come in and they'd start listening. I said, you guys want to dance? And then they started dancing. Well, all of a sudden we had this group of maybe 15 people. And then the Lilac Parade came that was also Expo 74. And the Lilac, anyway, they asked us to perform down there. And so I said, sure, we'll go, and we performed down there. And then there was the Lilac Parade. And so I asked Mr. Lang, I said, could we go to the Lilac Parade? And he said, well, sure, of course. He said yes to anything that I asked him, which was really nice. Anyway, so then we went to the Lilac Parade. We were the last entry because we were late. He decorated his truck. We put the drummers on the trucks, on his truck, the dancers on the street, and down we went. Oh my goodness, they had so much applause because it was something different, and it wasn't identifiable with Spokane, because Spokane at that time was dominantly Caucasian. And so, I mean, then we started, and I just started adding more repertoire to them. But the rhythms that we had were very spontaneous. I would start something, and the kids would start responding, and each person had something different. And then we put it all together. It was an experience that it's very, very dear to me, because the students that became involved with the program were hard workers, and they were talented, and they would add all these different rhythms that I wasn't sure about what they were doing, but I would just say, drum what you feel, and they did. And it was one of the most wonderful experiences in my teaching career. And then I left, and some other people took over, and I'm going to hand it on to Melinda Winther because she had it after me 2 teachers over. But I also want to compliment Mr. Cope because he has really he has given this community a lot more than I could have ever given at the time, because it just, for me, I had to leave teaching because of other things calling me to do. Anyway, so my appreciation to Mr. Cope and all that he has done for this community, and I hand it over to Melinda. Thank you.
I have incorporated, my name is Melinda Winther, and I've been in Spokane since '85. I had incorporated music from Africa in many of my teaching assignments in different places in the country. I had come from Rochester, New York, even though I was raised in the Northwest, but I had come from Rochester, New York, and when I first came to Spokane, I had 3 different schools, and then I was in Whitman. And the person that was here doing drummers and dancers had been here for a couple years but wasn't really happy with that added assignment. So they asked me if I would come to Grant. And I thought, well, I have some experience with African rhythms and African dance. So I came here and I taught the students what they taught me. You know, in the traditional way in Africa, there weren't notes, it wasn't a songbook, there wasn't anything to follow. They would just teach me, and so I would share what I knew, and they would share what they knew, and little by little, it grew into something huge. I was here for 11 years, and we traveled all over the city. I'm sure you probably still do. We had kind of a limited number of schools we could go to in a year because the students had to leave school to go, but we did like sometimes 12 or 15 performances per year if you count going out to the valley and doing different elementary schools. So they were used to performing. We always rehearsed Friday mornings at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 was our time. And I had all my drum group that would come a bit earlier, and they'd open up the walls to the music room. I'm sure it probably is still arranged like that. And if I was a little bit late, which I sometimes was, they would have all the drums set up here in the gym, and if I wasn't here, they would just start without me. They knew the repertoire, and they would just start the drumming and start the dancing and start. And it was just a joy to teach. As Margo said, they were dedicated, they were hard workers. They tried so hard to learn things quickly and to work as a team. So it was just, it was the best feeling of being a coach, because they shared with each other. They wanted each other to be the best they could be. And so it was just really a joy. And one of the really memorable things was I auditioned the group for a national conference in Seattle. And I sent in a tape that I still have it, a VHS tape of them performing. And we were accepted to perform at this national conference. There was people from all over the country, and the principal and I, that was Steve Engard at the time, started talking about if we get them on a bus and drive all the way to Seattle to perform at 11 o'clock in the morning and then drive all the way back, it just seemed like it was going to be quite an impossible feat. So we said, maybe we can fly. So we had donations from people in the city, and Southwest Airlines flew us to Seattle. We were met by a tour bus, and the tour bus took us to Bellevue, to where the conference was, and then took the kids all down to the wharf to have lunch and experience Seattle and the wharf area. And then they got on their tour bus back to the airport, and they were back in Spokane that evening. And it was like magic, because it just all fell into place. We had donations, and they were on a big stage. So that was just one of the memorable things. But when after 11 years, I didn't really feel ready to leave Grant because Grant gets in your blood. And there's something about the community, and of course the drummer and dancer group, I had about 50 in the group. And like I said, it was 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, so the 6th graders, 5th graders would teach the 4th graders, so they were teaching each other. Our closer was always Venatigo. Margo taught Venatigo when she first was here, and that was always our closer, always just brought down the house, a very showy piece. And so we always closed with that, but I hated to leave here, but I also had an opportunity to go to Guam and teach. So I had known Kevin from University of Idaho. We're both University of Idaho grads. And he came to take over for my leave of absence. And then the second year, I taught in Guam again, and Kevin stayed here. And the third year, I just couldn't leave Guam. I had a third year of leave, and I finally, after 3 years, I came back, and Kevin had been working with the drummers and dancers all that time, been teaching here, and there was a teacher retiring at another school, so I finished out my last 10 years of teaching there. But Grant, it's dear to me, it always will be. I've never had anything like the drummers and dancers, and the feeling that comes from them and from the parents and the appreciation. And I passed the torch to Kevin, thinking I would be back after a year, or 2 or 3. And here we are, 24 years later. I celebrated their 25th year of existence when I had drummers and dancers, but my heart goes out to Kevin. I mean, he's above and beyond, and he knows the feeling of it. It's part of you, it's part of your life, part of your team, and the community is so marvelous. So, and I know that these students teach each other the dances. It's the tradition touches my heart. And so, bless you, all of you, the parents that are so appreciative and supportive, and to the students who put in their extra time and talent to be here and to give joy to all the people that you perform for. So you are wonderful, and congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Melinda. I just need to piggyback off of that, what Melinda and Margo both have said, the students teaching the students. I got to talk to Margo, you know, we'd seen each other, I was teaching at Glover Middle School, and we'd see each other with teacher things. And then when I got the job and she's going to Guam, I got to meet her one time, you know, and talk with her one time before she left. And here it is, and the kids will teach you the dances. And we had a parent volunteer, John Cage, who helped us, but the kids taught me. And that was really cool to learn the dances and the songs and the drumming patterns from the kids who learned them. And then we just kept going, teaching. You know, it's your job as a drummer and dancer when we get new people coming in, you're their mentor, you're working with them. Isn't it nice to work when they hang out with each other? It's so awesome. They're friends, they hang out with each other. We've got our junior high kids coming back. As you see, this is Sam Hawker. She's graduating on Sunday. Sam comes back and helps with the drumming. One of the problems we've had with losing our 6th graders is the 5th graders just are learning the drumming patterns, and then they're off to middle school. And some of them aren't here tonight. Obviously, it's just Sam and me. But it's amazing how they work. And I'm going to give one more story about how the hard workers, because I've had drummers and dancers. How many of you learned to really work hard here? We work hard. And I've had several come back and say, hey, I really learned to work hard, and it helped me get this scholarship, and it helped me do this and go on to school and do whatever. My story about running the show and stuff is when Steve Ingard was principal here, and I think it was maybe my 3rd year here, I think maybe a couple of you were in this group. We started at 7:15 in the morning for the drummers to drum, and we started, and nobody was in the office till 8 o'clock. Well, I got a flat tire on the freeway coming in at about 7 in the morning, and I kept calling. You know, I had a cell phone, called the office, but it just kept ringing because nobody was there. Steve Ingard said he came in about 10 minutes to 8, and heard drumming down in the gym, and somebody came and said, Mr. Cope's not here. We don't know where he is, but he came in. He said the sixth graders were running the rehearsal. They had just said, okay, they had the custodian let them into the music room. They got the drums. They came down here. He said, I just sat back and watched for a few minutes and said, they're fine. I'm going to go to the office. And so they ran the rehearsal. I didn't get here till about 9:30. and they had just run the whole rehearsal and worked them. And so that's amazing what our kids do. So we need to get going here. We've got a few more performances to go, and then we're going to have some of you share your memories. But we want to teach you something. This is our newest dance. And it happened, it's really new. It happened during the pandemic. It's from South Africa and Tanzania, because there's this DJ, Master D, in South Africa who came up with this song, Jerusalema. And then during the pandemic, there were these people in Tanzania eating lunch. And there's video of it. They came up with the dance. And it went viral on TikTok all through Africa and Europe. America, sorta, so we're kind of doing our bit. This is called Jerusalema. And so we'll show you the moves, and why not? Anybody want to join in? It's fun. Okay, stand up, let's get here ready to do Jerusalem. Oh, well, let's sit and let them watch first some of the moves, and then we'll teach you Jerusalema. You didn't think you were going to get a workout when you came, did you? You can sit if you want.
Jerusalema, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikayalami.
Everybody stand up if you can, okay? And the song is really about being delivered, which is so appropriate for happening during the pandemic and being protected. And so, you go with your left foot, you're gonna go left, 2, 3, 4, then right, 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna do a crisscross 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. You step back with your right, step forward, 2, 3, 4. Turn to your right, 3, 4. Go back, 2, 3, 4, and start all over. Left, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Switch, 2, 3, 4. Step back, step forward, 3, 4. Turn to the right, 3, 4. Step back, 2, 3, 4. And left, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Switch, 2, 3, 4. Step back, step forward, 3, 4. Turn to the right, 3, 4. Back, 2, 3, 4. Then left, 2, 3, 4. Do it in your seats. You don't have to do the go back, but this is kind of fun. This is in the African spirit. We're all going to participate. Here we go.
Jerusalema, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikayalami,
I'll help you out. Switch, 2, 3, 4. Step back, step forward, 3, 4. Turn to the right. Step back, 2, 3, 4. Left, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Switch, 2, 3, 4. Step back and forward. Turn to the right. Back. 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Switch, 2, 3, 4. 4, 6 quarters back. Turn to the right. Go back. Left, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Switch, 2, 3, 4. Step back to the 4. Turn to the right. Step back, 2, 3, 4. Left, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Switch, 2, 3, 4. Step back to 4. Turn to the right. Step back, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, 3, 4. Switch, 2, 3, 4. Okay, why don't we end there? Awesome. I do this all the time. I get tunnel vision, and I forgot that Jolene was going to introduce this one. And so I'm going to let her introduce Shows Alozas to you really quick.
I'm Kevin Cope's invisible sidekick over here, Jolene Garland. I teach 5th grade here. I've been here for 10 plus years. I've lost count. And I kind of made myself a position here. Kevin can't get rid of me. So I am the assistant director because I made that position 10 years ago. So my daughter...
Marvelous job doing our website stuff, and you all need to go on Grand Drummers and Dancers on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube.
Sally, my daughter, is with soccer friends in San Diego who is not here, but she is the youngest drummer and dancer ever because I forced her. But at age 2, she started dancing with the drummers and dancers, and that's where we started. If you see our friend Rahel up here in traditional clothing, my daughter started that partially because she was too small to fit into any of this. So we encourage our kiddos to wear their traditional clothing to represent who they are. And as you see Jerusalem, this is new for everyone because we continue to add. As we grow, we want to expand. So Margo expanded and we just continued down. So we're continuing. So we're going to Shosaloza, which is a song Kevin teaches all the grade levels at Grant. It is a South African song during the apartheid.
It's going to get stuck in your head.
It will, for sure.
It will.
So this was one of the other songs we did at the parade as well. But this is a freedom song that was done in South Africa when apartheid was happening. They were singing while working and just saying, we're getting back to who we are. We may have to do all of this work, but you can't take who we are from us. So this is Shosaloza.
All right, thank you. Have a seat, Emerson Dance. Okay, so thank you. This is really cool. So we added these two dances this year, Shotsaloza, and we did them for the parade. And the thing that's really cool is you did not have these resources. The internet was not around, and I can find new stuff from Africa, just like I found Jerusalem during the pandemic, and all of these things. You guys had to find whatever resources you had and did an amazing job. And now I can find stuff online and find stuff that really is authentic. And we used to have to teach, oh my gosh, how many of you remember me saying that doesn't look African, shake your booty? How many of you remember that? All the time. Well, we found some marvelous dance workouts from Ghana that we do, Kukwa. If you ever want to get physically fit, it's on YouTube. It's called Kukwa. It's from Ghana. This lady does all of these warm-up and African dance moves to dance workout videos. I don't have to say that much anymore, do I? Well, I have to remind them, but they do it now, and we look so much more authentic. And speaking of authentic, I need to point somebody out. I'm going to embarrass her. This is Lavon Cope back here. Would you stand? She sewed all of the dresses and the dashiki shirts for us. She's the one responsible for our look. I think, shortly after I got here, people doing this, and it's like, hey, why don't we see if we can find some African clothing? And I did have one of the old girls' uniforms, but it disappeared. I don't know, somebody might have wanted it. But we've still got some of the fabric. The red fabric out there on the table is what the girls used to have a tunic with, and there's an old boy's top that is out there. Oh, and Melinda has pictures that she brought. But we got together with Team Grant and Spokane Schools Foundation. We couldn't find enough fabric in America, so how much did we actually imported this fabric from Ghana? So the dress fabric is from Ghana that we actually found a wholesaler that would import for us. Was it how many yards? 100 or so?
I think it was, yeah.
About 100 yards of fabric that we imported from Ghana for the dresses. And then now we've got dashiki shirts for the boys and some of the girls too, that we got that fabric from Africa also. So this is really cool, and with thanks to Team Grant and Spokane Schools Foundation, we have been able to purchase authentic African drums, which is really cool. We've got a whole bunch on shelves back there of real African drums from Africa. Some of them came right to us from Africa and smelled just like a cow when we opened them. Opened the bags like, wow, it's cow, you can tell. So it's amazing what we've been able to do. We want to take just maybe 15 minutes here because I see a lot of you. This is one of the purposes we wanted. If you want to come up and just tell us, if you want to stand and speak real loud, what are your remembrances of drummers and dancers, even parents, because I see some of my parents here of former long gone students. If you want to use the microphone, come up, or even parents now, if you want to say what it means to your group. So come on up and let's hear some of your experiences and remembrances of drummers and dancers. Let's do it till 6:30. Here we go. Who wants to speak?
Good job, Tanita.
Yeah, this is Tamita Fakataki. Tell us what you're doing and how drummers and dancers is helping.
I'm at Eastern Washington University studying as an international affairs major and doing a double minor in Africana studies and communications. Wow! I was in the Grant Drummers and Dancers from 2014 to 2016. And you know how I know that? Because I was in 4th grade in 2014.
You can see his picture out there on several of those after drumming.
I was too young in those pictures. The group, the Grand Drummers and Dancers, because now since I'm studying Africana Studies, led me to study Africana Studies. And there are many similarities between my Pacific Islander heritage of being Tongan and also being a Pacific Islander, and the connections between that and the continent of Africa and its traditions. There are many similarities which I found pretty cool.
I want to add on this, and this is another one of the things that's so wonderful about Grant. Somebody in the Inlander last year said that this school is like a mini United Nations, and it is. There is no other school in all of Spokane that is like us, that has such a diverse group of people and wonderful people. I think we figured there's over 20 languages spoken in this school. And it's amazing where people come from here at Grant, and everybody's included. Here's some of our students right here in their traditional dress. Thank you. This is Ra'i and Ramon. Who else would like to tell us something to remember about Drummers and Dancers? Then we're going to show the film that Brett Aubrey made, and it's Ashford, right? What? No, but let's hear some more talking. Okay, here comes Francis. I'd like to hear from like Najana maybe, and I'd like to hear. Yeah, Riley Nyberg. I need to hear about you and Callan. Yeah, Callan, we need to hear about you. All right. Oh my gosh. Come up here, guys. Let's hear what you're doing. Okay, here we go. Here's Francis.
Hi, I'm Francis. I'm graduating on Sunday from Lewis and Clark High School. I'm going to Whitworth University, and I'm going to major in marketing and minor in communications, visual communications. Drummers and Dancers actually helped me get into Whitworth. I used it on my application, and then it helped me get a scholarship, so I really only have to pay loans.
Hi, my name is Aiden. I was here in 2014. Drummers and Dancers really opened up my eye with a lot of culture. I see a lot more now when I meet new people. Right now, I graduated 2022. I'm now trying to get my pilot's license. Yeah, I don't know. My biggest memory is when I had to speak in front of a MLK convention, which was really scary because Mr. Cope just threw me up there and told me to read some words on a piece of paper. But I still have the pictures from it, and it's my biggest memory I've had.
How's it going? Hey, he did kill his speech. We needed him to come up here for sure. I'm Riley. I'm a plumber now. Yeah. But I would say a memory of mine would be when we had to do the little march, and I had the drum on my shoulder with the strap, and it was digging in my shoulder. That was the heaviest. That was painful, but I did it. Drummers and dancers, you know what I'm saying? I did my job. I was the best. I still remember all of them. I was sad there's not more drums out here. There need to be more drums. But, don't do that, because I'll really do it. We gotta do it then. But yeah, I'm Riley. Hello, y'all. Grand Park. Woman. I'm Kyle. Yes, I'm Kyle. I came here. I'm younger than everybody. I met my closest friends who were drummers and dancers, you know what I mean? Buddy right here, you know what I'm saying? It's my closest friends. I keep them to this day, you know what I'm saying? So I got drummers and dancers to thank for that, you know what I'm saying? It's good to see little kids still dressing up and shit. My bad. I'm so sorry. Hey, I'm messing up, man.
Excuse his language. I'm Elias Curtis. I came here all 7 years at Grant Elementary.
and I did drummers and dancers most of the years. And I met, like he said, I met him, and it's a good way to get the kids together and to get everything right. You know what I mean? And Grand Huskies for life.
Also, Michael PG in the corner over there. I think he has some great things to share. Would you like to come up here, buddy? Yeah. Look at him, man. He was the second best drummer ever.
Hang on. We had a program, well, that if you could drum all of our rhythms, if you knew that, you were what we call a master drummer. And that's kind of gone away now that we don't have sixth graders. This is our last master drummer, Michael Peasley.
I do stuff in computer science. That's all I can really say. But I guess, yeah, a lot of my memories were about being in a lilac parade, walking down, and like Riley said, it was just digging into your shoulders. But I mean, it was super fun. Yeah, you were literally like, I mean, imagine like a fourth grader carrying a big old drum that weighs the same as them, and you're just walking down, they're like scraping their feet across the ground. But I also talked at the MLK, what was it? Yeah, it was like a parade, I think.
Yeah, the MLK March.
Yeah, that was.
So we
that was
traditionally lead the MLK March. This year we didn't do it because it was 10 degrees and too cold for little kids, but we're the traditional leader of the MLK March every January.
But yeah, I talked in that, and then yeah, did you like him? But yeah, I just talked in that. That was like meaningful, and I mean, it was impactful to be able to actually talk there, and I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
Thank you. Here we go. We've got Emma and Adjana Smith. By the way, when we're out there eating cake, watch, you're going to see all of these kids on pictures there, and they were so young.
Hello, I'm Najana. I went to Eastern for a year, and I didn't like it, so now I'm going to go to SEC to be an ultrasound tech. One memory I have is the parade, and it was raining. And we were in ponchos, and it was cold, and we had to go a long way. And we were all tired when we got to the end. So, my name is Emma. I'm graduating on Sunday. I work at Sacred Heart. I'm a certified nursing assistant. My favorite memory was when we were backstage waiting to go on. We were all playing a big game of Ninja. It was a great time. And then we got in trouble a little bit for being loud. But...
Yeah. All right.
Hi, I'm David Cope. I was in Drummers and Dancers mid to late 2000s, and well, by virtue of being Mr. Cope's kid, kind of never left.
I wrote it into all sorts of stuff, and he did my video, so.
So one thing I really remember is, despite having two left feet and being an absolutely lousy dancer, I could really do the drumming patterns really well, but I also learned to work really well with other people from various backgrounds through Drummers and Dancers.
Hello, my name is Avery. I am graduating tomorrow, actually. I'm going to SFCC to do graphic design. And one of my biggest memories from Drummers and Dancers is just the community that you build and all the friends. I remember performing at like LC and going to all these different marches and doing like Fanatico, and you'd see all of these former drummers and dancers coming up and dancing, and they would be smiling and laughing, and that made me the happiest, knowing that we all had that connection and that we could all connect, and it didn't matter the background. People were always there and ready to, give their heart.
Hello, my name is Jenna. I remember starting here in kindergarten, and I have an older brother, and I watched him join drummers and dancers, and I was so jealous. I was like, why do you have to be in 4th grade? So jealous. Well, 4th grade came around, and I joined, and by 6th grade, I had my own solo. I was ending my day with, practicing, being in the middle, shaking that fear, and I'll tell you what, it definitely helped with a lot of my stage fright. Because he didn't give me the chance, or the option. But don't ask me to do it now, my knees.
I understand this. I used to be able to dance Fanatico. I could get down, but I would not be able to get back down.
But I have to say my best memory was he always tried to make everybody feel special. So he always did these certificates at the end of the year. And mine was most likely to tell Mr. Cope no. So Mr. Cope? No.
Hello, my name is Brandon. I'm a food clerk at Rosar's. 4th grade, so 2003 is when I started Drummers and Dancers. They had me on the drums a lot too, and dance, which really gave me the rhythm to continue dancing. So at that point, I know a few more dances because of that. My great memory here is just the community and traveling and just showing the world the culture that we're trying to implement. So, thank you.
Hello, I'm Caitlin Hawker, the first of the 4 Hawker sisters who have all done Drummers and Dancers. Yeah, trendsetter right here. I remember being in kindergarten, in 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade, and thinking, oh my gosh, I really, really, really want to be a drummer and dancer, because they would dance in assemblies, and I thought they were the coolest thing ever. I did. And so when 4th grade came around, I was so excited, and I threw my heart and soul into it. It was great. And I was so proud. And I think in the pride of being up here, dancing, and doing something that not everybody else could do. And I thought that was so cool, and getting to share a culture and the community that we have here. And my dearest sister,
yes, I was the second Hawker sister to join Drummers and Dancers, but we actually started the same year because I was the first 3rd grade year that was able to start with Miss Darlin's class. So I've also been doing it longer than you because I started in 3rd grade and then I actually moved schools after 4th grade, but I kept coming to practices after school. I kept doing it for 5th and 6th grade. Had to miss a few years for middle school, but then I came back in high school. It's been one of my favorite parts of just my academic career so far, is just being a part of this group. I love this group. I was a front row dancer in my time as a dancer. When I came back in high school, I started learning the drum patterns because they were hurting for drummers. And I love the drumming. It's really fun. I love being able to come here. I love seeing these kids. I love giving back to the community that raised me, you know? I love everything about this group and this school and this community. Thank you everybody for being here.
Hello, my name is John Cage. My dad helped out a long time ago. My daughter was nice enough to let us know that when I did this, it was still the 1900s, so.
He's one of Melinda's kids.
Right. I never got to dance with him. I was
You
just,
were 7th grade, yeah.
Yep. So my biggest memory was going to Bellevue. and just the overall stress of getting all of the kids that didn't have a whole lot of money across the state. So that was a whole lot of fundraising and just a ton of fun. But yeah, I mean, her and her bell kept us in check, for sure. I mean, she started everything off. She kept us, you know, a lot of kids that were not very good listeners. By the end, we were. And we could dance, so it was a lot of fun. So, and a lot of good friends, a lot of ones I still talk to today. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, John. Yeah. So again, this group has a great tradition of the people who are in the group teach the people coming in. And so this is great. So everybody, drummers and dancers, hang tight real close. We're going to show the movie now, and then we're going to end with Venatigo. So we're going to ask. And then when we're done with Venatigo, we need to take a picture against that wall so that we get everybody who is in drummers and dancers. We want your picture, so we're going to post that on the wall here at Grant. All right, so here we go. Let's turn on. This is the film that Spokane Schools, public schools did for us about Grant drummers and dancers. Pardon? Yeah, Brett and Ryan. Ryan just left. But yeah, Ryan Lancaster and Brett from Spokane Schools did this film. It just came out today.
Maximum volume.
Grant Elementary hallways fill with the sounds of kids leaving at the end of the school day. As soon as the echoes fade, new noises follow.
We can express ourselves in dancing.
Dozens of little feet and several sets of hands, all providing the rhythm of the Grant Drummers and Dancers, a group that just this year celebrates its 50th anniversary.
You can have some energy and get out there, so you're not always laying around.
But without the vision of one teacher 50 years ago, this group may have never begun.
I guess for me it was a cultural experience way back in Seattle, Washington in about 1967. And I saw what they were doing with African American drummers and dancers, and I thought, I might like that sometime, somewhere. And lo and behold, I got a job teaching music at Grant Elementary School. So I thought, gee, I wonder if I could start this.
And so in 1974, Margo Dreis started the Grant Drummers and Dancers, and the room wasn't exactly full, at least not at first.
You know, I think I had maybe 2 or 3 kids come in, then more kids started coming.
The club grew quickly. It became so popular that soon kids were trying to attend the club without even attending class.
And when I told them they couldn't come to drummers if they didn't come to school, they were really upset with me. For me, being at Grant, really was a gift because I got to share something with them that was not present elsewhere in Spokane.
After a few years, Margo moved on from Grant, but the Drummers and Dancers group remained.
I just want to credit all those other music teachers who followed me.
For the next 2 decades, Grant teachers and parents kept the popular club going. But in 1999, the position was open once again. And a young teacher from another school saw an opportunity.
I was actually hired because I was a drummer. I was teaching up at Glover Middle School. I was actually a choir teacher there, but I'm a drummer. And so the music director said, hey, we've got a music teacher leaving. We need somebody to do the Grant Drummers and Dancers, and you're a drummer, you'd be a perfect fit.
25 years and countless drum beats later, Kevin Cope is still a perfect fit.
Kevin is doing a wonderful job in trying to protect his authenticity. He's done a terrific job at fostering that cultural aspect, you know, especially in that neighborhood.
A lot of this I've just picked up from a lot from our families, drumming and the dances that go from their cultures. There's so many online resources now. That's really nice. That wasn't there, 20 some years ago. And we'll meet lots of people in the community who say, oh, I love your group. We've seen it years ago, or we see you in the Junior Lilac Parade.
All downhill, stay together, stay together.
Often when we go perform, we will run into somebody who was either in Margo's group or one of the previous groups afterwards and say, I was a Grant drummer and dancer 40 years ago. I was like, wow.
I was there from kindergarten to 6th grade.
All the way through?
Yeah, all the way through.
That's Amari Trout, a student at Gonzaga University. And that's also Amari Trout, performing 9 years ago as a Grant drummer.
It gives me something to be proud of.
So proud that 9 years later, Amari still enjoys the beats.
Even to this day, like I still tell my friends about it, and even the people that I've met through college, I'm like, oh yeah, I did this when I was younger, and I still remember like some of the routines and like the beats, and so I'm like, oh yeah guys, let's do this dance real quick, or I'll try to teach my roommates. But it definitely did have a lasting impact on me. The first 3 years of elementary school, you're sitting there and you're seeing these kids who are older than you perform, and all you want to do is perform with them. You're like, oh, I would love to do that.
Nobody knows that better than 11-year-old Ashanika. Her mother Jolene teaches at Grant and assists with the drummers and dancers.
I've been with this group since I was 2, so it's kind of like my nature now. So I like that I get to be a part of this.
Ashanika goes to Sacagawea Middle School now, as does her friend Arrow Johnson.
It was like a really good experience to go everywhere, like in parades and different like buildings to perform at.
The pair liked it so much that they really never left. Every Monday, Ashanika and Arrow get picked up after school, and they're brought back to Grant, where they continue to practice and perform. Luckily for Arrow, his mom Chastity provides the transportation. She might be the drummers and dancers' biggest fan.
Oh, this is my happy place. I love coming here. I am so proud and I'm thankful that I'm even involved in this. And I see my son improving every year, and he's growing and he's growing, and he's also helping others grow.
In year 50, that growth is more important than ever. SPS 6th graders have moved from elementary to middle schools, which means the drummers and dancers have gotten younger.
A lot of the kids were new this year.
So listen to Miss Garland, please. She's fixing just details that will make us look better.
We didn't have very many kids who had been with us before. And the previous year, we only had 2 kids because after COVID, when we came back in, only Asha and Arrow had been in the group because they'd been as younger children in the group. So we started out from brand new, nobody knowing the dances, to now in 2 years, we're back to almost our full program.
That means more practices, more performances, more parades, but most importantly, more smiles.
I want to keep doing it because I've done it so long, I just really like it.
We want this to keep going. I'd love to see it. I don't think I'll be around maybe in 25 years, maybe I will. But it'd be great to see, 60 years, maybe 70 years, but see this keep going as long as there's a Grant Elementary to have the Grant drummers and dancers.
So we know you want to have an evening, and let's have everybody up here. We're going to do Venatigo. So this is a big, giant Venatigo. So if you are a Grant drummer and dancer, Come on up, we'll find Rose. We'll do a big giant Venati go here. Any drummers want to join in? If you were a drummer, grab a drum. We've got a couple more drums here for you. Okay, we'll get it situated here. This is going to be awesome.
I gotta get a video of this.
Just saying this, we're not responsible for any injuries. Like I said, I used to be able to do this, but I can't do it. All right.
I'm moving this back. So.
By the way,
take lots of pictures of that.
please check out our Facebook page or YouTube.
And
We're going
Instagram.
to put this on YouTube and Instagram of the big Drummers and Dancers community. Y'all, you guys can get this.
All right, then, what you go?
I'm going to start all over again. I gotta start. Start over.
I'll get you a chair if you need it.
Thank you, Margo. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, everybody who's been a part of this group. Whoa, drummers and dancers. Of course, We're gonna let our guests get the cake first. I'll be out here cutting cake. Oh, first before cake, everybody who was a drummer and dancer, go on the steps. We're gonna take our pictures. And then we're gonna have cake.
Hey, have to come back and say
That's awesome. Good for you. Well, it's fun to see all of our old kids.
It is. It's neat. I know it's amazing. Like,
Big
got
kids.
tall.
Yeah, they're graduating. I'm like, am I that old?
I run into him every once in a while. I was downtown the other day. Mr. Baker!
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I want to go out and say hi.
Oh, yeah, go say hi.
I want to go say hi to all my old kids.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Greg.
Yeah, good to see you too, Ashley. I suppose I should stop it.
I was like, I don't know whose phone